Two extremes fallacy, often called false dilemma, sometimes called the either or fallacy. So this is where you are given two choices and two choices alone. And one choice is obviously a good choice, and one choice is obviously a bad choice, right? And so the thing is that in reality, usually there are many choices that we could make, right? It's not just, okay, you're either going to do this or you're going to do that, right? It's either my way or the highway. Well, wait a second, couldn't we find a different way in between these 2 points, right? Um, and so we have to say, what are other possible examples or solutions or alternatives? If you've ever taken any of those quizzes that try to establish your personality type or something like that, and you have you ever gotten to one of those questions, you're like, well, I don't like any of those choices, right? And sometimes you only get a binary, you only get one or the other, and you're like, well, actually, I'm kind of a little bit of both, but you don't get the option. You have to choose one or the other, right? This is where you're given this either or this false dilemma. And that's what it is. It's a false dilemma. Oh, it's either this or this. Like, well, no, there are more choices that are possible. And so again, you have to say, are those really the only two options? What's not also mentioned that might be a better choice? Card stacking is, I think, one of the hardest to discover because it really involves you either knowing a lot about something so that you can tell immediately when there's missing information, or it involves you having to go out and do a lot of research or do some research to find out what's missing. So what happens in card stacking is where the person only gives you the evidence that sounds good for them, right? They completely hide or get rid of anything that might undermine their position or contradict them or whatever, right? And so she says the best protection here is having the yes but attitude, right? So you say, is this person leaving something out that I should know about? Is there some other information that could be brought to bear, right? And so then she talks about that we've been looking at 3 different approaches that propagandists use to influence our thinking, and that's appealing to our emotions, distracting our attention, and misleading us with logic that may appear to be reasonable but is in fact faulty and deceiving, right? And this one, she says, this 4th approach, though, is the most common perhaps of all, and that's testimonial. And this is where someone that is well known, that is liked, is brought forth to endorse an idea or a product, and we're supposed to believe them because we like them. It says the problem is, though, that the person being quoted may not be an expert in the field, right? Using the name of a man who was skilled and famous in one field to give a testimony for something in another field is unfair and unreasonable, right? So again, we're going to see these in celebrity endorsements, especially in television ads, that kind of stuff, right? And so again, before we just buy something or vote for something or believe in something because a person that we like and trust does, we have to say that, well, wait a second, beyond this person's endorsement, what is the real merit of the idea or whatever it is, right?